Hello everybody, welcome to my YouTube channel. I've got a treat for you. I'm on my way to get on my plane to go back to Minnesota. I'm still in Arizona, and my driver, her name is Amy, and she has a good story that I love, and she's going to share with us her recovery story and her background. And take it away, Amy.
Basically, when I was in Arizona, I got a DUI, and it was a pretty bad DUI. I ended up getting like 7 felonies. I lied about driving this car, crashed the car, lied about who was driving it, threatened the officers, got into just a bunch of trouble. And because I was scared and it was the first time I'd ever gotten in trouble, I took the first plea that I got, which happened to be 60 days in county jail and 3 years probation. Did really good because I had my kids. I was doing really, really good, taking my UAs and all that for my probation. And then I met this guy that was cultivating weed, and I got with him anyways, and I moved in with him.
He had a big grow room.
He didn't even have a big grow room. He actually used to cultivate weed, and the cops found pictures of him cultivating. And he did have weed in the house. He also had machetes in the house. He also had guns in the house. Unbeknownst to me, I, very gullible, didn't know that I was going to get in trouble for this. It was his first offense. When my probation officer came over, YCSO, Yavapai County Sheriff's Office, stormed his property, and I ended up going to prison for 13 months because it was a violation of my probation.
Wow, that's pretty harsh, but
And he got 18 months of probation because it was his first offense. But after that, I actually went to Tucson because they said Tucson was a felony-friendly city. So I went out there, got a job, and started working. And
then
from there, I mean, I'm doing great now.
So
I've got money in the bank. I haven't done. Back in the day, like I said, I used to sell weed.
yeah.
Used to sell weed. Weed turned into coke. Coke turned into meth. Had everything taken away 3 times from me because of meth. And then finally got away from it. Got divorced. And
So back it up to your stay in prison. What was that like?
honestly, I was, because I'm so sociable, I'm a little social butterfly, I ended up getting on a princess yard out in Goodyear at the female prison. There were 300 inmates on my yard, and the yard, it was called a princess yard because we couldn't get in trouble. If we got in trouble, then we went across the street where they had 1,000 inmates, but every night the ambulance was over there because girls were just crazy
Brutal,
over there.
brutal, and yeah.
But I did good there. I actually worked for the director of the DOC. I cleaned his office.
So you were like the queen of the trustees?
Yes, it was good, but I didn't think I was ever gonna get out of there.
Yeah.
Getting patted down by these every day, having to strip down when we left the yard. But the blessing was I got to leave the yard.
Yeah.
Because a lot of the other inmates didn't get to leave the yard.
And you did the whole 13?
Well, it was 18 months. I got out in 13, and then I just paroled out to Tucson.
And then right afterwards you started doing the right thing,
Yeah, I had to go to meetings, which I went to. And you know how they always say, don't meet anybody in recovery?
Yeah.
So that was kind of rough, especially after being in prison for a year.
Yeah.
But, had my ins and outs. And actually, I did meet somebody, and it broke my heart because he had gotten out of prison. And he actually went and was helping people in recovery. He worked at one of the houses.
Sober houses?
Yeah, one of the sober living houses. And we were together for maybe about a year, and then we separated. He got married, had a family, and then last year he died of an overdose of heroin. And
Oh no.
It just crushed me. But
sucks.
things happen. Life's about choices, people.
Yeah.
But
So,
I'm doing good now.
when did you start to realize, start doing the right thing? You start, and I feel that everybody knows what the right thing to do is, unless you're a psycho or something. But it kind of makes it easy once you realize, I just got to start doing what I know I got to do. So when did you realize like everything's starting to fall in place? This is really where it's at. When you started having grandkids or something, or what?
No, not when I had. Ugh, this is hard.
It's hard to go back. You don't want to talk about it? That's fine. So, yeah,
I had a son. And I lost him because of that.
Oh, I'm sorry.
And I took it to the Supreme Court to try to get him back because I only had 3 months left in prison and they wouldn't give him back to me. They said I was too unstable, that I couldn't get a job, that I wouldn't have my own place within 3 months. But when I got out, I had a job within a month and I had my own place within a month because I'm a worker. It's what I do.
Yeah.
And they adopted my son out a month before I got out of prison because they said that he needed stability because he was taken from me and then given to CPS. And then he went to a family member and the family member wanted to adopt him and I said no, so they gave him back to CPS. So because of that,
it seems like me and your stories are similar in one way, that and you took ownership of your mistake.
I did.
And so did I. And even though with my wife had died like a year before that, I could have played that card. I could have got a lawyer. Would have cost me a lot of money, but
Yeah.
I could have got some jurors to say, hey, his wife just passed away, you know?
Yeah.
And I could have maybe avoided all this felony business, but I like you, I just took ownership of it.
Yeah.
And
Well, because I knew that it wasn't anybody's fault but mine.
right, and I don't have any regrets of what I did, you know, and I did what I got. How I got dealt with was with a public defender, and so.
Yeah, me too.
Yeah. So. Yeah, it's amazing how much we get in common.
Yeah, it really is. I actually have an older brother named John.
Okay, so do I.
And when
Yeah.
you said that, I was like, what? But yeah, I have an older brother, and I have my twin brother.
And I have a twin sister. Yeah.
So yeah, only difference is I think when I was 30, my twin brother was diagnosed with renal kidney failure, and I gave him a kidney because.
Wow. Really?
Yeah.
Wow.
Yep. And his wife was like, "You're not taking that drug-infested kidney." And I was like, "What?" Like,
What?
no, you are not going to
Wow.
be, you know. And I was in great health. The doctors did a check, you know, on me, and you have to pass like a series of tests to be compatible. And they were like, "You've got the pinkest organs we've seen in a long time."
Yeah.
And so I did that, and my twin brother is amazing. He's doing great. And
Wow. And now you want to start a company helping people get to
elderly people, yes,
get to their medical appointments.
Well, because people take advantage of the elderly, and it's horrible.
Yep.
And so yeah, I want to go.
And I used to be a med cab driver, so.
I want to help people like you.
Are you sure you're not my twin?
I know. I know.
So yeah, that's amazing. And everybody out there, you can change your life.
Yep.
And just put the drugs down and get on with your life. You got your family. And we'll end this episode right here. Thanks for listening, and thanks, Amy, for your interview. You did great, and I appreciate it.
No worries.
Talk to you all later. Bye.